my channel, and we'll start with the next topic of the first chapter, that is asexual reproduction. So in this asexual reproduction, the first thing which you should remember is that it is most common in unicellular organisms as well as in some plants and animals whose organization is very simple. ठीक है, तो एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन जो है वो सबसे ज्यादा कॉमन पाया जाता है यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स में और उन प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स में जिनका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो बहुत ही सिंपल है. ठीक है, अब हम बात करते हैं जो कि हमने कल डिस्कस किया था कि जो एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन है इसके अंदर सिर्फ एक सिंगल इंडिविजुअल और सिंगल पेरेंट इन्वॉल्व रहता है. ठीक है, तो उसी के बेसिस पे ये फर्स्ट लाइन दी गई है. इन दिस मेथड अ सिंगल इंडिविजुअल और पेरेंट इज कैपेबल ऑफ प्रोड्यूसिंग द ऑफस्प्रिंग. Okay, as a result, the offspring that are produced are not only identical to one another but are also the exact copies of their parents. Because only one parent is involved, so the offsprings are produced from only one parent. They will be identical to each other also, as well as they will be exact copies of their parents also. Okay. सो जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे देखेंगे एग्जाम्पल में, यहाँ पे अमीबा का एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है. तो अमीबा के एग्जाम्पल में आप देखें कि ये अमीबा है, ये न्यूक्लियस है, ये जो रेड कलर में मेंशन है. तो सबसे पहले इसमें न्यूक्लियर डिवीजन होता है. जैसे ही न्यूक्लियर डिवीजन हुआ कैरियोकाइनेसिस, फिर साइटोकाइनेसिस हुआ कि ये जो सेल है इसमें डिवीजन होगा. तो ये हमें दो डॉटर सेल मिली. अब इन दो डॉटर सेल में अगर आप देखोगे तो ये जो दो डॉटर सेल्स है ये आपस में भी बहुत सिमिलर है एंड इट इज सिमिलर to their parents also. ठीक है, so in this case the offsprings which we will get, we will call it as a clone. They are known as clone. Okay, clone. And if we use to define the clone, it will be defined as it is a morphologically means in the physical appearance, okay, and genetically similar individual. They are morphologically and genetically similar individual also, because there is no fusion of two parents, so the genetic material of only one parent will be transferred from one generation to another generation. So the offsprings which are produced by asexual reproduction are referred as clone, where they are morphologically and genetically similar individual. Okay, now we'll move towards the next para. Let us see how widespread asexual reproduction is among different groups of organisms. Okay, so the next line is asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organism. Single-celled organism or the unicellular organism is the same thing. Okay, so we have already mentioned that it is most common in unicellular organism or single-celled organism, as well as in plants and animals which have simple in organization. So this line is only mentioned that asexual reproduction is common among the single-celled organism and in plants and animals with relatively simple organization. Okay, now mostly the questions which arises from this topic for NEET is the mode of reproduction and their examples. Okay, so mainly आप सब लोगों को इसी चीज पर ध्यान देना है कि एग्जाम्पल्स कौन से हैं और एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन के कौन कौन से मोड्स हैं. ठीक है, तो पहला जो है लाइन इसमें दिया हुआ है, इन प्रोटिस्टा एंड मोनेरन्स द organisms or the parent cell divide into two and give rise to new individual. Thus in these organisms cell division is itself a mode of reproduction. So simply जो आपको इसमें याद रखना है वो लिखना है कि cell division is a mode of reproduction in protista and monera. Okay, next is budding. Budding is a mode of reproduction in yeast, hydra, as well as in some sponges. Sponges are the animals. They belongs to a phylum Porifera. Okay. Next is binary fission. Binary fission is also a kind of asexual reproduction, and their examples are amoeba and paramecium. Okay. So in this page, or that is page number 5, on this page mainly the two diagrams are mentioned. So one diagram is of binary fission. This is a binary fission which mainly occurs in amoeba as well as paramecium, but with the diagrammatic only amoeba is being described. Okay, next one is yeast is a fungus, and in this a small bud is formed. A small bud is formed. It will remain attached to the parent in the initial stages. Then it get detached from the parental body and it ग्रो इनटू और जर्मिनेट इनटू द न्यू यीस्ट। आप सबको पता है कि यीस्ट क्या होता है, यीस्ट इज फंगस है, ठीक है। Now the next is some asexual reproductive structures. So first one, if you will see, it is a chlamydomonas, okay, and as you all know that chlamydomonas, it is an algae. So in this, the asexual reproductive structure is zoospores, okay, and these zoospores are produced in a zoosporangium. So this structure is zoosporangium, which contain many zoospores, okay. Now what is the character of zoospore? That it contains a flagella. And because of the presence of flagella, it is motile, means it can move, okay. So asexual reproductive structure of chlamydomonas is zoospores. These zoospores are present in a zoosporangium and these are microscopic. These are microscopic motile structures, okay. तो पहला स्ट्रक्चर क्या हुआ क्लेमाइडोमोनास का। क्लेमाइडोमोनास एक एल्गी है, उसका जो एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्टिव स्ट्रक्चर हुआ वो हुआ जूस्पोर। जूस्पोर्स में क्योंकि फ्लैजेला प्रेजेंट होते हैं जो कि हेल्प करते हैं इसको मूवमेंट में, ठीक है, और ये माइक्रोस्कोपिक है। तो अगर क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया कि व्हाट आर जूस्पोर्स, सो योर आंसर विल बी दीज आर माइक्रोस्कोपिक मोटाइल एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्टिव स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ क्लेमाइडोमोनास, ओके। Second is for the penicillium. Penicillium, as you all know, it is a fungus. So in the penicillium, mainly it contains some hyphal branches. These hyphal branches are known as conidiophores. Okay, these hyphal branches are known as conidiophores, and on the conidiophores, mainly conidias. Conidia is a asexual reproductive structure. It is non-motile because of the absence of flagella, and they are present in the form of a chain, okay, and they are dispersed with the help of a wind, okay. So second asexual reproductive structure जो कि पेनिसिलियम का है वो है कोनिडिया। कोनिडिया नॉन मोटाइल होते हैं, कोनिडियोफोर पे एक चेन की फॉर्म में ये अरेंज होते हैं एंड देयर अरेंजमेंट इज एक्सोजीनसली। एक्सोजीनसली मीन्स दे आर नॉट प्रेजेंट in the conidiophore, they are present at the tip of the conidiophore, okay. Next है हाइड्रा। ये है हाइड्रा। तो हमने बडिंग पहले पढ़ा, बडिंग हमने यीस्ट के अंदर पढ़ा कि यीस्ट के अंदर जो एक छोटा सा बड बनता है वो पेरेंट से डिटैच, वो पेरेंट से पहले इनिशियल स्टेजेस में जुड़ा हुआ रहता है, बाद में वो उससे डिटैच होकर एक नया जर्मिनेट होता है और एक नया यीस्ट बनाता है। इसी की तरह हाइड्रा है। तो हाइड्रा और यीस्ट में जो बडिंग पाई जाती है उसे हम बोलते हैं एक्सटर्नल बडिंग, ठीक है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो बड होते हैं ये पेरेंट के एक्सटर्नल सरफेस पे प्रोड्यूस होते हैं, ठीक है। तो इसमें क्या है, जो हाइड्रा के अंदर ये जो डिवीजन हो रहा है इसे बोलते हैं अनइक्वल डिवीजन, यानी बडिंग में जो डिवीजन होगा वो होगा अनइक्वल डिवीजन, जबकि सेल डिवीजन और बाइनरी फिशन में इक्वल डिवीजन होते हैं। द सेल विल डिवाइडेड इनटू टू equal daughter cells, whereas in the case of budding the division will be unequal, okay, and the budding it is a external budding, okay. So the asexual reproductive structure of hydra is bud, okay. Next one is gammules. So these gammules, they are formed in the sponges. Now what are the sponges? Sponges are mainly animals, okay. These are the lower animals which belongs to a phylum Porifera. Okay, Porifera. Next one is, this is a gammule. This whole structure is known as gammules. So if you see at the point, okay, at the tip there is one opening which is known as micropyle and it is covered in the envelope. So this covering is known as outer covering, this one is inner covering, and these spherical structures are known as archaeocytes, okay, and these are supported by these structures which are known as spicules, okay. So in the mainly the gammules are present or they are formed only during the unfavorable conditions, okay. It will be formed during unfavorable conditions, and through this opening these archaeocytes will come out and they will germinate into individual sponges, okay. So this whole structure is known as a gammule, and this gammule structure is mainly present in the sponges and it is an example of internal budding. So these are the small buds or spherical structure which are formed inside, or mainly this gammule structure, it will mainly act as a bud which is formed in the sponges, okay. So it is an example of internal budding, okay. It is an example of internal budding, okay. So understood, the asexual reproductive structure of chlamydomonas is zoospore. For penicillium it is conidia. For hydra is an example of budding, as well as gammules is also a example of internal budding, and it is mainly present in the sponges, okay. Next, if you see the para, it's written that many single-celled organisms reproduce by binary fission, and the examples are amoeba and paramecium. And during the binary fission, a cell divides into two halves and each rapidly grow into an adult. Okay. Next is in yeast, the division is unequal. Okay, in the yeast, division is unequal and small buds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell, which eventually get separated and mature into new yeast organism. So they are talking about the budding, and budding is and the examples of budding is hydra as well as yeast. And in this, unequal budding will be, or the unequal division will be seen. Okay, next. This is the most important para. Okay, this is the most important para. So here I have explained in the form of diagram also. So in the amoeba mainly you have seen. Binary fission. In the favorable condition, amoeba will divide with the help of a binary fission. But whenever there is an unfavorable condition, so during unfavorable condition, amoeba will lose their pseudopodia. It will lose the pseudopodia and develop a 3-layered hard covering, which is known as cyst. Okay. Now I'll read the line. See, under unfavorable condition, the amoeba withdraws its pseudopodia and secretes a 3-layered hard covering or cyst around itself, and this phenomenon is termed as a encystation. Okay, so this is amoeba. It has lost its pseudopodia and developed a 3-layer hard covering, okay, which is known as cyst, and this process or this phenomenon is known as encystation. Okay, and when the favorable condition will again arise, during that time, the amoeba will undergo the binary fission and it will produce many pseudopodiospores, okay, or we can say minute amoeba. During this, the cyst wall will burst out and the spores will be liberated, and each spore will then germinate into new amoeba. Now you see the line. When favorable conditions return, the encysted amoeba, this is the encysted amoeba, it divides by multiple fission and produces many minute amoeba. So in this many minute amoeba or pseudopodiospores are produced. The cyst wall will burst, then the cyst wall will get burst and the spores are liberated in the surrounding medium to grow up into many amoeba. And this phenomenon is known as sporulation. So understood what is encystation and sporulation. Okay. So these are about the asexual reproductive structures. So mainly in this you have to remember the example and their asexual reproductive structures. Okay.